Hey everybody, I'm going to show you a little bit about how to tune your djembe, how to tighten the head. So when we're talking about tuning, we're talking about either loosening or tightening the head. 97% of the time you're tightening the head because over time the head will stretch. Weather will also affect the head, so if it's in a cold car, it's not a great place for it to be, but it's not so bad. You can get away with putting your drum in a cold car for a few days or even a few weeks if you had to. You want to take it in and take care of it, of course, as much as you can. The other thing, in the summertime, you do not want to leave your djembe in the car, ever. Because unless you park under a tree, in a garage in the summertime, put a sunshade in the window and crack your windows on the right and left about an inch. Maybe your drum will survive. And that's because what heats up is the rings. These two metal rings that hold your top head on. The bottom one's called the flesh ring, the top ring's called the top ring. The crown ring, we call it sometimes. That's what gives tension to the rope that I have in my hand that's tightening the drum. There's also a ring at the bottom of the bowl, and so those are that's called a two-ring system. With obviously it has to have the bottom ring. Some people use a three-ring system. You see it very rarely. I don't like it, but a lot of people like it for whatever reason they do. I'm just going to show you how to tune it now. So you've got your djembe, and you love your djembe. It's got some extra rope, and that rope might be around the bowl. This is the bowl of the drum. Or it might be around the base. And you want to get it all off. Hopefully you have a lot of it. And if you look here, the rope ends at a point where it flipped the two ropes over each other. And it's the only flip that's in this drum. Otherwise, the ropes just go down through the loop and up and down and up and down and up with no flips in the rope. But to tune the drum, we flip one rope over another. So in this case, since the rope is going in this direction already, I'm going to go in that direction and I'm going to put the rope over the next two. And these are the two that I'm going to flip. And that's going to tighten this drum. Sorry, from this sound to a higher sound, and hopefully a more pleasing sound. So I go over two, I come back in between, I pull it all the way through if I want. There are some side tricks that I'm not showing you right now because it's just too much information. And then the two that I've just gone over and back in between, I go under one and I go under two. And I go out. A lot of people make a mistake here and they go under the third rope and come out here. Don't do that. Go the two that you originally went over, went under number two, back in between and under one and under two, and then out. Be careful about that. And then pull all the excess off and you get an S. You see the S shape? The S has a bottom bump and a top bump. I'm going to lift this. This is optional, but I like doing it. And I'm going to slide this rope under that, and it kind of clicks a little bit. It will do that anyway, but it's better that it happens up here when there's space between the shell and the rope than there is down here where it's really tight. So that's it. That's the threading of the djembe pull. Tightening your djembe. Now this is an Tauber creation from I think 1988 or so, 1989. When since I had back problems, I couldn't just sit down on the ground with a stick or a djembe puller and use it. So I had to find a way, besides asking various girlfriends to tune my drums for me, I had to find a way to pull this rope. I've got to pull it so it pulls this rope over this rope, and will end up looking like the first flip. And I came up with this way. I've shown a few people. A lot of people go back to their old techniques and their old methods, but I take, after I've threaded it correctly and gone under that second bump, this is important, I put the rope out, so the djembe is on my left. I put the rope over my index finger of my right hand, if you're right-handed. And I do about maybe 14 inches, maybe 16 inches, and I just close my hand on it. All right, I don't grab, which I see a lot of people trying to do. That doesn't help you at all. It looks bad too. All right, so I make a shelf. I call this like making a shelf. And that's what the hand looks like. I close it. And I take my my right foot with a shoe on it, and I don't use the tip of my shoe, and I don't use the heel of my shoe. I use the instep of my shoe. And just I push my leg down, basically, and if you look at the flip, the djembe, it's going to flip the two ropes over each other. I don't know if you can see that it did that, but it did. And then to give it a little extra, I'm going to stand on it. I'm going to take the weight off my back foot and let it, just one little moment of standing. And now, you see flip 1 is a little lower, flip 2 is a little higher, and this will be the level that all the others will go. You only do 1, you only do 2, you only do as many as you need. You don't go from the front of the drum, do one over here, do one over here, do one over here. You could, but djembe folas in Africa and here in America, we tend to just continue. The next flip would be these two ropes. The next flip would be these two ropes. And you just want to get the sound right. So let's see what it sounds like. It only changed a little bit. I don't like the way it sounds right now. So I'm going to show you something else if we tilt the camera down a little bit. This is another thing I came up with. We used to carry around hammers, rubber mallets, and instead you can use your floor as a mallet, because instead of carrying one. So you drop your djembe on the floor. Of course, it wakes the neighbors. But the skin may be stuck on your drum somewhere around the rim, and that breaks that seal. And your drum should be higher after you let it drop. So that's doing the same work as if you hit it with a hammer.